Welcome to Game 4 in the Tabletop Tactics League. In today's brutal matchup, we have the Silent King himself, Chef, versus the true steel of the Grey Knights and Bards. In this matchup, we are going to see steel on steel action, but who will come out victorious as both of these players are coming off of the back of a loss. It's time to meet them and go over their lists and roll up the mission.
Round 2 for the dynasties then. Let's see how we do. I was quite happy with how the list performed last time, but I have made some changes. So let's go over what we've done. Now off the bat, we are going for a Supreme Command Detachment and an Outrider. No battalion today, makes me sad in my soul, but fortunately because I have the Silent King still, I've got loads of CP to spend. Here's my Warlord. I have spent the CP to give him the Triarch's Will because it's very useful to have. We then go over to my Outrider. Now we do still have the Chronomancer and the Technomancer in here. I have dropped the Voltaic Staff off of the Technomancer, so no super zappy stick for him because didn't really do a huge amount last time and I want the CP sort of in the bank. The Chronomancer I've also made a few changes to. We've dropped the Entropic Lance to the Aeon Stave, more for points than anything. And we've swapped out the Cortical Control Scarabs for the Countertemporal Nanomines, because a 3-inch Heroic Intervention isn't all that useful. It's quite easy to play around. If it was 6 inches, I'd probably keep it in. Instead, I've gone for the Nanomines, which means that I can pick an enemy unit at the start of my shooting phase within 18 inches, and they halve their advance and charge rolls until my next shooting phase. So if I can position that well, I can basically just turn off charges because they're just going to be almost impossible to achieve for a big killer unit. So that could be quite crucial. As we're running an Outrider, we have no Immortals. The Immortals are gone. Instead, we have taken 5 more Scarabs because yes, so that brings us up to a total of 15 Scarabs now in 3 units of 5. And we've changed the 6-man unit of Wraiths to 2 units of 4-man Wraiths. So I've got a little bit more flexibility in their positioning as well as potentially avoiding blast. Could cause me a bit of a problem when it comes to Reanimation Protocol. That was pretty clutch in the last game, but we'll have to see how we manage. We've also, with the leftover points, put in a unit of 3 Ophidian Destroyers. I'm very keen to see how these guys do. A lot of people are swearing by them, which means that I could be wrong, and I'm going to use them wrong, but we'll see. My plan is of course, to deep strike them in as a counter-charge unit, potentially as a counter-screen unit, but more importantly, to jump onto objectives or to board quarters and to threaten small units. May not be necessary in this mission. The rest of the list is the same. So we've still got my 10 Lich Guard with Sword and Board, still got my 6 Scorpex with their Plasma Sight Buddy to follow them around, 6 Locust Destroyers, and 3 Locust Heavy Destroyers. It's still 2,000 points on the nose. I do start with a few less CP, but we'll see how it goes. The Immortals didn't really do a huge amount for me last time other than just die, so I'm thinking with more faster, choppier bodies and just the sheer annoyance of Scarabs, because I'm still the Obsec Dynasty and the Eternal Conquerors, so everything is still Obsec and getting a 6-inch pre-game move. I should, in theory, have a lot more board presence this time. The loss of shooting is probably not that big of a deal. In terms of secondaries, because of the mission that we've rolled up, it is the Scouring. We've gone for Ancient Machineries because I want to be fighting over those mid-board objectives anyway. We've gone for the Treasures of Aeons because where else is Bard going to pick objectives other than in the middle? And because we're playing against a Psycho Heavy army, I've gone for Abhor the Witch because of course I have. So in theory, I should rack up a lot of secondaries and a lot of primaries, but as is the case with this army, we need to see if we can get on the scoreboard as quickly as Necronly possible and run away with the points so that my victory will be assured. The Hammers of Titan return, but with some changes. I did like the list I took last time, but there was a couple of weak links, I feel, so I've made a few changes. Sadly, I know we discussed it in the comments of the League Analysis video, the Chaplain is now gone. He was fun, he tried his best, he didn't do a litany, so he's on the bench. We'll maybe come back to him another time. I've replaced him today with a Librarian.
I know a lot of them discussing this and how you can really pump them up with immortal wounds, so I'm really intrigued to see how he does today. Sort of like a psychic assassin. I've made him my warlord as well to give him a psychic epitome to really power up his psychic potential. So he's one of the main changes I've made to my list so far. Drago's still in. He's just great, so I've kept him in the list. Troops-wise, I've also made some changes. I'm leaning into the tougher, more resilient bodies of the Terminators, so I'm taking 3 units of 5. 2 have the halberds and 1 with the swords, just to try and distribute my different kinds of attacks so they can, you know, barney with different types of units. Paladins are also still in the list, but I've reduced the unit size, making them a 5-man unit. 3 have hammers and 2 have swords, just so I could fit the points in for the other Terminators. Then one of the bigger changes, I've dropped all the Dread Knights, and with the points I've added 3 venerable Dreadnoughts. For the list was really missing some sort of dedicated anti-tank shooting, so these guys have made it into the list. They're really choppy in combat, they've got 2 up on their ballistic skill, they're quite resilient, and also we've got multi-melters, so that's good for them. Other than that, the list remains the same with 3 units of 5 interceptors. Again, I've split the weapons here, 1 unit with halberds and 2 with swords, again just to distribute the AP and strength so I can engage with different targets. The list now is 2,000 points on the nose, so hopefully that's a good omen for its performance. Secondary-wise, it's a tough one. I've leaned into Purifying Ritual again. I know it's different with the Scouring because all the objectives are in the middle, but still it's a really good opportunity to score some early points. I've taken no prisoners because I feel it's quite useful against stuff that can reanimate instead of Teleport Assault, which kind of makes me overstretch a little bit potentially. And then as a last sort of Hail Mary, I'm taking behind enemy lines. It does plant a flag of what my plans might be, but it's quite useful with the abilities Grey Knights have to zip around the board and teleport into awkward spaces. Hopefully it'll stand me in good stead, but we'll see how we get on in the mission.
Today's mission is the Scouring. The primary objective is Take and Hold. The progressive mission is Strategic Scan. The mission rules and further information can be found in the Nephilim GT mission pack. The Tabletop Tactics League consists of 15 qualifying matches with a further 5 knockout games to determine placings and who will be this season's champion. It's time to hand over to the players and let battle commence.
Living metal versus shiny metal.
Yeah, the battle of the shiny boys.
Yes, so it's going to be an absolute bloodbath in the middle.
Yes, yes it is.
Just for reference, it's one of the Games Workshop GT layouts because, sure,
Needs to be.
dense, and everything else is obscuring.
Yep, pretty much.
Kind
Keeps
of
it simple.
Yes, it's nice and easy.
One thing I do need to mention, or I neglected to mention this in my list, but my librarian does have the Sigil of Exigent relic.
You just can't not take it.
It's too cheeky. It's such a cheeky little relic.
You just can't not.
It's like, woo, there we go, I'm gone. Yeah.
In terms of my protocols, just because this is all the pre-game stuff, I have taken Protocol of the Hungry Void as my super duper command protocol, so that's active for the entire game.
Very cool.
And because the Silent King is my warlord via the Triarch's Will, I have Protocol of the Conquering Tyrant in my bank.
Nice.
So I can potentially swap that out. So one of my protocols will be active for 2 consecutive turns, which is very nice.
I'm starting in the Tide of Shadows.
Makes sense.
Because it actually might come up today, which is nice. Everyone always turns it off for me normally.
And then the final thing to just go through is the ancient, not the ancient machineries, the treasures of Aeons.
Yes.
You will need to pick 3 of the objectives in No Man's Land to be my machinery objectives.
I might pick the ones closest to me.
That makes sense.
And then, what would my third choice be? Probably the one in the middle.
The one in the middle, a scrap and a Barney, is it?
Yeah, come to me.
So that's all the preamble-y, pre-game stuff done. It's time to roll for who has the first turn.
After you, sir.
Oh, thank you kindly. It's a 1.
Okay.
Fine.
It's a 4.
Okay, you're going first.
Alrighty then.
Well, it is your command phase, but I've done my first movement phase out of 6.
You're much closer. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I have surged forward because I've done a bunch of measuring, and realistically, you could do like 2 smites, and that's about it. So I'm not too concerned.
Probably going to be a bit cagey for the first turn, but we'll see how that goes. Command phase wise for me, Drago is going to put his reroll hits onto the Terminator squad here. And that is it, really, for my commanding bits. Let's do some movement. With a 4 on their advance, the interceptors fling themselves into the maelstrom. Godspeed. Godspeed. This Terminator squad are moving up towards the objective to try and start scoring some points. The Paladins are also moving up into the building, along with the characters. Just pushing forwards, slowly but surely. The Terminator's forming up towards this doorway so they can perform some actions onto the objective. These interceptors are moving up toward behind this natural bit of line of sight and also getting in range of the objective so they can do the strategic scan. The Ancients are on the move. The Venerable Dreads are coming out to have a look around, as is this one. Blonk. This Dreadnought is also shuffling forwards. Psychic phase. We start with a psychic ritual from the interceptors in the middle onto that objective. Yep. Goes off on a 7.
But does it?
Oh, does it?
As I activate my noctilive beacons from
not
the
the
Silent
beacons.
King. He says no, naughty psychers, back to the warp with you.
Okay,
but
fine.
that's the only thing I can do for deny. So the rest of your psychic,
I can carry on now. The ritual train tries to actually, I was about to say continue, actually needs to leave the station.
you didn't put enough coal in.
Yeah, immediately the brakes were like, oh, false start, everybody. The Terminators in the building on that side of the board are going to cast onto that objective. They do just about.
Yep.
Don't do that to me, guys. The Terminators over here, and they're going to do the same on the objective they are also on. That does go off on a 7.
Very nice.
Marvellous. All right, start. Let me think of some other powers. 2-gate or not 2-gate? Having that psychic ritual denied is a bit of a pickle because that extra one will give you the 4 points. So I'm now having to wrestle with the idea, do I gate another unit, say a Venerable Dreadnought, towards that objective to try and get the points, but there is still a deny open, and ultimately he probably is going to die with the amount of firepower and chops that over there. I think ultimately it's not worth the risk because I need to keep those Dreadnoughts alive for future anti-tank weaponry. So I'm probably going to avoid moving him towards that psychic ritual and just have to accept not getting those 2 extra victory points at this stage. We start the Armoured Resilient train now. We're going to start with this Dreadnought here, and then we'll go along the lines to see if I can get them buffed up.
Okay.
The first does cast that.
Yes.
The second needs a 7. It does cast that. And the third does not cast that.
But he's probably the safest one.
He's the furthest away, that's what I figured. Just for a Hail Mary, I'll try and cast it on the Paladins who are in the building.
You explode.
Because...
No.
No, they don't get it. That's fine. Let me think what I'll cast next. Potentially a bit of a cheeky little move here. Drago's going to gate the interceptors back into my lines. They're like a psychic ritual lasso. It's like a whip. It's like, whoosh. Oh, you failed. Come back. Quick, boys.
Oh, this has gone horribly wrong.
Yeah. You've been denied. I'm going to spend a CP with our new tactical tokens. Ooh. So I can use Psychic Channeling, so I can cast it on 3d6, because it would be nice if this goes off. It does indeed, because I picked those 2. Nice, so I can gate them back into my lines. There's no other powers that will come up for Drago this turn, so that's him done. Psychic phase done, just a little bit of a shooting phase. There's some internet shots from the Stormbolters, so 2 of the Paladins in the building are in range and can see the Wraiths. Okay. So let's see if they can get lucky. They will be rerolling the hits because of Drago.
Ah, Drago.
Good thing too.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Get
Not
that again,
half
I
bad.
could be in a pickle.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, what is your toughness? Your toughness?
5.
5, so yeah. Most of your army is. Oh no, they've done the opposite of what I needed them to do there. So that is 2 wounds.
Just 2 saves. I save 1, fail 1, so 1's down to 2
Cool,
wounds.
chip. I will move on to the Paladins then. 3 are in range as well and can see.
Cool.
So they will give this a red hot go. No rerolls here, but they...
1's for Drago.
Oh yes, of course, yeah, but not. They haven't got the
Back
full rerolls yet.
Not that they need it.
They've done pretty well there.
Bloomin' heck.
Bloomin' heck, root into it and shooting. Again, if I could get something similar, that would be nice. 4. Actually, not too bad. That, yes, 4 wounds.
Okay. One of them takes another wound. One is down to 1 wound.
Cool. Let me measure see if anything is in range, but that might be it. We did some incidental shots from the Terminator in the doorway at some scarabs. Very little transpired.
He did a wound. Guess what I'm going to do next turn? I'm going to heal a wound.
So, yeah, that's done. And that is also my turn. Got a couple of points, got 2 for the old Psychic Ritual, and I've started for the primary with the squad in the building there on the scanning. I'm happy I've got my interceptors out of dodge. We'll have to see what happens. You've got a lot of guns to bring to bear, and you're just going to go... Bleh!
I've got a couple of guns. It's mostly about the bleh.
Yeah, the bleh into the middle of the board. So we'll see how that goes.
The command phase, I've done the living metal off camera because you don't need to see me moving dice or removing wound markers. That's silly. What I am going to do is my will be done.
Will be.
We're going to pop it onto the destroyers. We are not quite in range of the heavy destroyers. So I'm just going to do it on myself.
Fair enough, yeah.
Because I'm allowed to.
Because he's allowed to.
Yeah. There's no one to revive with the Technomancer, but the Chronomancer is going to pop his Chronometron upon these scarabs here, because what's better than scarabs? Scarabs with a 5-up invuln.
No!
We will begin the movement phase with Obnoxiousness, which is the Wraiths moving over here. 2 of them will be able to get into objective holding range. You will not have as many models in range, and therefore I can do the Ancient Machineries.
No.
Hold thine horses, those at home, and mainly me, because big dumb. The Interceptor is actually a model there, so we've got 2 OBSEC models. Well, I've got 2 OBSEC models. Bard has 1 OBSEC model, but OBSEC cancel each other's out, and it goes to just a normal number of models, so it's 2 and 2, so it's contested. I don't control it, therefore I can't machinery it. So I won't be doing an action with them. Instead, I'll just use them to charge. But what I will do with the Ancient Machineries, because I mentioned it, is this unit of Chronometron bugs are going to move skitter, skitter, skitter into the middle here and begin Ancient Machinerying, because they are canoptic and they are allowed to. The destroyers are just going to float on over this way so I can get in range with their Gauss cannons onto some Terminators. Got a 6 on the advance with the scarabs up here. They will then utilize that to jump down to here in order to screen out my destroyers from any smites, as well as any potential charges if you get cheeky. The Wraiths here are actually going to move backwards in order to screen out any potential nonsense that you might want to do with your units in Deep Strike and or gating, especially because you've got things like Psychic Paladins. Stop it! Especially because you've got things like your Especially because you've got things like your Super Librarian, as well as units in Deep Strike like your Interceptors and Terminators. The Lich Guard don't need to go into the mid-board just yet, but they will set themselves up for a later turn by just moving up to the edge of the building here. The paired Cryptex. The first Technomancer moving up into here, just to avoid, again, any Librarian nonsense. The Chronomancer moving here. Again, I don't need to go too hard up at the moment because the countercharge will be nasty, so my Scorpex are just moving up, staying in the ruins for the cover save. They will be strategically scanning the objective on the other side of the wall because they're the beefiest unit that I've got there, so it will allow me to get the points for that. A little shuffle with the heavy destroyers just to move them into better line of sight, as well as, of course, the King's rerolls. The King sends his Triarchal Menhirs over to here and here, whilst he goes to here. And then I will actually check coherency properly. There we go, that looks better. Lovely. Finally, the Scarabs over here. I only rolled a 1 for their advance, but that's fine. They're still nippy enough. And thanks to Fly, it enables them to move over this way to protect my rear lines again from any deep strikes. That is my movement phase done. We will begin the shooting phase with Loghurst Heavy Destroyers.
Fair enough.
2 of them can see the unarmored resilience one.
Yes, it is.
One of them can only see an armored resilience one.
Very well.
He's going to fire it. So one's going to fire into this one here, which is
Makes
armored
sense.
resilience. 2 of them are firing into this one without.
Cool.
I'm not doing any strats or anything like that on them, but they are in reroll range of the Silent King.
Silent King.
Hence the movement.
Makes
forward.
sense.
So onto your one with armored resilience. I'm hitting on freeze, rerolling because of the Silent King. It's a hit. Ooh. Freeze to wound you.
Yes, indeed.
It's a wound. It's -3 because of Armor of Contempt, so 4 up save.
Yay!
Loves it. The 2 into the unarmored resilience one. I hit you both times.
Okay.
Hiya! I wound you both times. One of them is at -4 after armor.
One will be a 6 up save, one will be a 5 up save.
Correct.
The 5 up. Whoop. No. 6 up. No.
So that is 63 damage. I'm going to technically roll these one at a time just in case I want to CP reroll, but 3 damage, so 2 damage because of that. Fine.
Yep.
And the second one is, oh dear, that was terrible. So, wow, 6 damage total.
6 damage total. Do I get any of my shrugs for the Venerable Dreadnought? I do get 1, but
Only
he
did
takes
5 damage.
5 damage. Okay, that's not too bad.
Disappointing. Next up, the normal destroyers.
Normal. Yeah.
A little bit of a split here just because of range. One of them is going to go into the Terminators because they are slightly further forward, but the other 5 are going to go into the Paladins. I don't like the Paladins, so I'm spending 3 CP here.
Oh, okay.
1 on Solar Pulse, so there's no cover for them. And that's really important because that means no dense cover from the Tide of Shadows and no light cover from your building.
Yep.
And I'm also spending 2 CP on Extermination Protocols for re-rolling wounds.
Very nice.
So on the normal Terminators, these will be hitting on freeze because you will get the dense and the light cover here.
Yep.
I hit you all of the time.
Very well done.
Wounding on freeze. I wound you all of the times at -2 because of Armor of Contempt, so 3 up saves because these guys are getting light cover here. Loves it.
Loves it. Nice.
And now on to the Paladins. So this is the key one here. So hitting on 2s, re-rolling for the king. Re-rolling for the king. It's a full house.
Nice.
We are looking for freeze to wound re-rolling, but 6s would be very nice because that will give you a 5 up save. Right, well, not a single 6, but I do have re-rolls because of, right. Wow, it's a full house, but only a single 6. Fine.
Oof.
So 1 save of 5 up, but then that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 saves of 4+. These are D3 damage, by the way. Did you wish to do any stratagems?
I kind of want to save my CPs. I'm going to risk it. Yeah, I'm going to risk it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 4 ups, and there was 1...
And 1 6 up.
So these are 4 ups and 1 6 up. Or 1 5
sorry,
up.
5 up, yes, forgive me. I mean, it's not
They've
bad.
done pretty well.
It's not bad, but it's still pretty good.
I am going to use a CP on a re-roll, however.
I understand.
It doesn't pay off. Okay, that's fine.
So that's 5 so far.
Yeah.
And then your 5 up save?
And then the 5 up save.
No, so 6 D3 damage. So I will unfortunately have to do these one at a time.
That's fair.
Because, yes. The first one. Okay, so 1's dead.
1's dead.
The next one. 1 is dead.
Oh.
Okay, so another one is dead.
Yeah.
And the final one does kill. So I've killed 4, but there is 1 paladin left alive.
It's brutal. Ugh.
Final bit of shooting, the menhirs. The king himself is just out of range with his Scepter of Eternal Glory and the Staff of Stars. But we've got 1 menhir is going to fire through the doorway into this Terminator, and then the other menhir is going to try and finish off that paladin.
Very well.
Let's start off with this Terminator down here. Now, despite being your dense,
I am dense. Leave me be.
I'm still hitting on 2s because I gave myself my will be done.
Which is very nice.
But I am re-rolling because I'm core. Very good.
Nice.
It's 2s to wound you because it's strength lots. It's a wound, it's -4, so -3 because of Armor of Contempt. You are fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You're
Yeah.
1 up save.
1 up save because of the...
1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 up
it
save.
is fine.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Nice.
This one onto the Paladin.
Paladin.
2s to hit you. Re-rolling for myself. Marked for death. 2s to wound you. It's a wound, it's -4. Now, no light cover here because he's still under the effect of the Solar Pulse.
Yep. Oh.
That's 6 damage, I'm afraid.
He's gone. He's gone for the face of existence.
No more Paladins. That's pretty significant.
Does sting to lose the Paladins this early. However, I kind of took a bit of a calculated risk there. I did contemplate doing true silver armor, but it is 2 CP for a 5-man unit. So I kind of needed to save those CP elsewhere because it fuels a lot of the stuff I want to do next turn. Especially with all the rerolls that the Silent King can give to those destroyers. I was kind of, was playing a bit fast and loose there, but ultimately the numbers didn't play in my favor. So while it is a shame to use those Paladins, I've still got those CP to use it elsewhere, such as on the Interceptors to make sure they stay alive to get me those 3 points. We'll see how it goes. But ultimately, it's a risk I had to take, and hopefully it will pay off.
A cheeky charge now.
Yes.
The Wraiths into the Interceptors. Now, I need a relatively good roll here to get as far away from the Terminators as possible. A 7 should do it.
Should do that.
Move them in. A 7 was enough to avoid the 2-inch engagement range of the Terminators, because ruins... Fine. However, with my pile-ins, I have managed to get all of them in engagement range themselves, as well as having 3 models in range of the objective to your currently 2, because I'm obsec to your 1 obsec.
Yep.
So you won't be able to move the Terminators in, but I do need to kill a good amount of Interceptors here in order to stop you from piling around and just denying me the objective anyway.
Yeah. I am going to be using True Silver Armor here, just to transhuman them, basically. True Silver Armor!
True Silver Armor!
Oh, goodness. Goodness me.
I have no other things to do here,
Very
so
well.
I will hope it's just the Murder Train. So it's 4s and 4s, basically.
Very well.
The Murder Train has left the station and is going full speed ahead.
Full speed. Choo-choo.
Do we make a stop off at Village of Death?
Village of Death.
No. Oh, no, we don't. Only 2 wounds. 1 is at -3, however. 1 is at -2. So after Armor of Contempt, it's -1 and -2.
Yes, so the -1.
So I do kill 1.
Yes, because
they damage 2. Yeah.
And then the one at -4. I kind of needed that the other way around. Yeah, that does.
Yes, you could have done that the other way around. Yes, 2 are dead.
That's fine. 2 are dead either way.
Yeah. I don't believe that will be enough to stop you from piling in and consolidating round, but let's have a look.
We'll have a look. I've done my pile-ins. Snuck through the doorway to sort of at least contest the objectives. You're not completely stealing it.
Yeah, one of them wasn't able to get in range.
So you had to move across to the other scout. Brave.
Because of the 2-inch engagement range, I wasn't able to go into base to base with any of my models, so I wasn't able to pin you in place. Hence why these 2 have gone through there. But this one in the corner here, he can't move away from the closest model. So
he's kind of got to stay where he is, but I can conga line him enough to be able to sort of get in a nice position. So then we'll get to attack back. 3. Come on, lads.
Now, weirdly...
yeah, it's a weird one.
You almost don't want to kill any here in case I reanimate.
Okay, so I've done 4 wounds.
Okay. 4 up invulnerable saves. You killed 2 of them.
Okay.
I need to bring at least... Right. I need to bring at least 1 back. Otherwise, my plan has kind of failed, and you'll still get the primary points here. So this. Oh, we're so close to greatness. But alas, 2 of them die, which means that my plan has failed.
They've done a good job, those Interceptors, and that CP expenditure came off well, I think, in the end.
Yeah, the plan kind of failed, so I'll just explain that a little bit here. By losing 2 of them, I've only got 2 OBSEC models there to Bard's 1 OBSEC model, but 2 other models, which means the OBSEC cancel each other's out. It's 2 models to 3 models. He retains control of that primary. It was a bit of a potentially over-ambitious goal for 4 Wraiths to try and kill some Interceptors, but I mean, they did all right. The swing is not enough. It was not enough for me to warrant using a CP reroll on one of those saves because statistically, only 1 would have died. I really needed that 1 to come back alive to at least contest the objective for the primary, but it's okay because it's still very early doors. So my gambit has sort of failed, but now they do have to deal with those Wraiths there, so they will be absorbing a little bit on that flank. Perhaps it would have been nicer if 1 more was alive, but hey, we are where we are. Let's see what else I've done in this turn. And thus concludeth the turneth.
Yes.
And the roundeth.
And the roundeth.
Yes. So, that aside, so be it. I've still done very well thus far.
Yeah, that was a good turn.
I'm halfway to the strategic scan with the Scorpex. So that's some primary points in my turn 2 coming up because shifting them is going to be quite difficult. We have done the Ancient Machineries with the Scarabs in the center because they are OBSEC, so it completes like that. And that is also a treasure of the Aeon's target as well. So that is effectively 6 victory points just with those scarabs.
It's really nice.
Cool.
So good.
And I have not only gotten 2 points for Rapport the Witch for killing the Paladins, but gotten rid of a big threat of the Paladins. So we're in a pretty solid spot in terms of the secondaries, and we've set up well for the primaries. The Gambit failing is neither here nor there because it's kind of so early doors. If that would have happened in like turn 4 or 5, that could have been literally
huge.
But that's fine. We're going into battle round 2. Let's get to it.
Woo! Command phase! A couple of things to mention here. Drago's going to do his rerolls onto the Terminators, because that's what he's in range of. I am then going to spend a CP on Shadow of Undying Legends to give rerolls for one of the Dreadnoughts, so they can work as a little unit, essentially.
Reroll ones to hit or wound?
I'm going, it's a tricky one. I think I'm going to go for the Tactical Precision, which is reroll ones to wound.
There's a lefty-loosey lieutenant inside there.
Yes, which is quite handy, hopefully, and with some other manoeuvring, I can potentially get Drago in range, so that's the thought there. It is a CP, but hopefully will help them do what they do. Other than that, I think you've got a protocol bit.
Yep, so new battle round, new protocol. We're in the protocol of the Sudden Storm.
Sudden Storm!
And we're going to go for Directive 2, actually. A rare one. Normally I go for Directive 1, but Directive 2, so I can do actions whilst shooting, and the action doesn't fail.
Very nice.
Which is kind of why I've not done it on the stuff over here yet.
Makes sense. The Dreadnoughts move forth to draw line of sight onto some foes. The Terminators are going to form up along this wall. The Librarian, waiting for his moment, is just going to move up behind the Terminators to perform the scan action. Drago is then moving forward into the building here to stay protected, but also to give an aura to the Dreadnoughts. These Interceptors are just expanding themselves a little bit to make their footprint larger to assist with preventing deep strikes and the like. I'll also move a bit further back this way, just to sort of try and protect my back lines from any Veil of Darkness nonsense. It's a little move from this Dreadnought. I'm just going to move over this way in case certain plans don't come to fruition. Start the psychic phase. Purifying Ritual is going to be attempted by the Terminators in the building over yonder.
I understand.
It goes off. Yay!
You did it.
I'm then going to try and do the Purifying Ritual with these Terminators over here.
Let's see.
Yeah, let's see, hey? Let's see. Oh, it doesn't even go off normally. Oh no! We come now to the Venerable Dreadnoughts. The front one is going to cast Armoured Resilience upon himself. He does!
Well, I will attempt to deny you with the Silent King because it's the only thing I can deny now.
Yep, makes
sense. I was
sense.
saving the deny for the ritual.
It just didn't go off.
So 7, is it?
Yep.
The Not to Live is very busy today.
Great success. Let me have.
That's that.
Yeah, that's that done. Cool. Let me actually contemplate what to do next. We come now to this second Venerable Dreadnought. He's had a change of plans. He's going to smite the Wraiths.
Okay, I've got no more denies or anything like that.
He does smite ye.
5.
How much damage does he do?
Oh,
it's a big 3! Pow!
Zap!
Out of my lines, you! We will now do the Interceptors, who are enraged in battle with the Wraith, and they will also try a smite.
Sure.
5, 6, 7.
Goes
That
off.
does go off. The damage. Whip! It definitely
He's got a wound remaining.
He's got a wound remaining. Okay, cool. We come now to Lord Caldor Drago. He's going to do a smite into the Wraith, but first he's going to cast Gate of Infinity on the Dreadnought that's got 3 wounds remaining.
I understand.
I've used a CP on Psychic Channeling just to sort of help make sure my powers go off.
I understand.
Gate of Infinity!
Yes.
It does. Woo! So that goes off. I'll move him in a moment, but while we're here, I'll do the smite.
A little smiteroni. Smiteroni pizza.
That does go off, yes.
He's dead.
He's dead.
Goodbye.
Pow! He's gone.
Goodbye, sweet
Back
snake
to
boy.
the...
Reality, oop, there goes gravity. B, Rafie goes down and says, Mum, spaghetti.
The Venerable Dreadnought now, which is my last person to cast. He's going to try Inescapable Pursuit on himself, which is the Blades of Victory power to give him reroll charges.
Okay.
Which is quite nice. I need a 6. just about goes off.
Yeah, you can have that. I'm not going to spend a CP to try and deny that.
Cool. Those are all my powers. Let's do some shooty shoots. We come now to the first of the 3 Venerable Dreadnoughts.
The
one at the back here will shoot his multi-melter at the destroyers and his stormbolters into the scarabs.
Sure.
We'll start with the Tracer stormbolters. Hitting on 2s. He can reroll the 1s because of Drago.
You got 2 stormbolters.
No, he doesn't.
He's not a Terminator.
What am I doing? Right, we'll do that again.
Well, you hit all the time. So
hit all the time, so it's fine. Yeah, I was saying he's not a Terminator. To wound you.
1 wound.
1 wound.
1 6 up on a scarab. Okay, 1 takes a wound.
1 takes a wound. Okay, cool. The multi-melter into the destroyers.
Multi?
Hits all twice to wound you. Marvellous. Well, move on to the next Venerable Dreadnought.
I'm willing him to kill them.
We'll try that again. This time we're going to start with a multi-melter. That's
sure,
what we'll do.
that was the
help
mistake.
Him. That was what happened last time.
Yeah.
Hits you twice,
Yeah.
wounds you. Twice.
Right.
Brilliant.
They both go through. I don't get any saves here. You're not in melter range. The first one explodes.
The second one.
Also explodes.
There you go. Look, learn something from your brother. Right, anyway, now the Stormbolters into the Scarabs. Just hit you all the time. Again, what am I doing?
Again, you hit all the times, but...
One
wound
wound
again.
once.
No saves. Okay, could you just mark me down to 2 wounds on that guy?
I think it's just habit with throwing forward extra Stormbolters, so it's nice.
And now Reanimation Protocol. So for what it's worth, I'm going to remove these 2 here, just to limit any range attacks from Stormbolters.
Makes sense.
But let's see if I bring either of them back. No.
Okay, cool.
Not a 1. So you've killed 2 of them. Very good.
We'll come now to the 3rd Venerable Dreadnought in the tree line. He's going to shoot the multi-melter at the big, heavy Destroyer lads and his Stormbolter.
I understand.
I shall trace you with the Stormbolter.
Now this time you do get 2 shots.
He does hit you all the
Hit
time.
all the time.
To wound you.
You wound me 1.
Okay,
Right.
I'll take it.
I don't want to jinx it. We've got a 2 up save here. Oh.
You are traced though.
I am traced, which is vital.
The multi-melter.
Right.
Of course. The
wound me.
multi-melter. Excellent. The Terminators in the building will shoot their Stormbolters all into the Destroyers just in case they get lucky. Yeah. Shooting.
Well, you're re-rolling everything, fortunately, because of Drago.
Praise be.
Praise be unto Drago.
Wake up, please, dice. It'll be a good time for you to turn up now. Cool, those are all the hits. Move them out of the way.
That's better.
That is this marked improvement.
5s to wound me.
5s to wound you.
And you are...
In
Is this
range.
gun...
Yeah, it's that guy, so I am in
re-roll
range.
those ones.
Praise be!
Praise be to Dreadnoughts.
Okay, cool. That's not too...
That's not bad at all, actually.
Actually pretty good going, all things considered.
9?
Yeah.
It's not bad.
6. Oh, 8 actually.
8.
Sorry.
It's still...
Don't be a cheat. Yeah.
Not bad. 3 up saves here, though. Not quite enough to kill one, I'm afraid.
Okay, that's fine. It was a long shot anyway, but I thought, you never know. You never know. We then come on to the Terminators over in the other building. They're going to shoot all of their Stormbolters at the Scarabs in the centre. No rerolls here, but they've not done too badly, which is very nice. Good work, lads.
Freeze to win me. I do have a 5 up invuln save here, though, from the Chronometron.
Yes.
Ooh, Terminators.
People like that. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
13?
As they say.
Oh my gosh. That was pretty good shooting.
Rooting and tooting.
Yes. 5 up. Invulnerable save.
5 up.
Okay, not good. 10 wounds. So that's 1 dead, 2 dead, and 1 on 2 wounds.
On 2 wounds.
So now it's time to reanimate them.
Let me get my dice out of the way for you.
It's everyone's favourite time of the day. So I'm going to remove this one here and this one here, because maybe we'll revive them both. And get lucky. I do bring 1 back.
Very well.
And I'm going to put him there, so I'm ever so slightly closer to your objective.
Makes sense.
Like a
Sneaky.
nonsense thing that I am.
We now come to the Interceptor, who's going to see if he can finish off that base.
My wounded Scarab. The dream is still alive.
You might have to try a little bit harder with his wounding.
The dream is dead.
Dream is dead.
I mean, one of the scarabs is dead.
He's
but
whittled.
he's got one little scarab buddy
Still
left.
skittering around, the cheeky little scamp. Drago is going to try and finish off that destroyer base. See if he gets lucky.
Oh, James. Okay. One
He
hit.
can't reroll. Fine.
It is a wound.
It's a wound! Go on, Drago.
4-up save, or he's dead. He's dead.
Drago never misses. He shoots precisely what he means to.
I mean, he is a space wizard. So.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Could be a bit lucky. The Venerable Dreadnought is going to try and charge the Scorpex. He's not long for this world with his 3 wounds, so he's going to go out with a bang, hopefully. I can reroll this charge, let's see what he gets.
Yeah.
He's a 10.
Well.
Come on, lad!
You've made the charge, have you?
I have.
Into my Scorpex, have
You're
you?
cooking up something
Unfortunately
cheeky.
for you, I'm going to infuse those Scorpex with madness at the start of the fight phase with my Canoptic Buddy. So if I roll a 1, I kill one, which will incidentally mean you're not going to be able to attack me. They are
Okay.
scarier, but you
Yeah.
are able to attack me.
I can at least fight you, right. Hitting on 2s.
Oh, and I'm going to do Whirling Onslaught for -1 to wound.
Cool, so I hit you all the times.
Yeah.
Which is nice for him. And what is your toughness, sir?
Toughness 5. So
Toughness
you will be
5.
wounding. You would be wounding on 2s,
But
normally,
now wounding
but
on 3s.
3s now because of Whirling Onslaught.
Yeah.
Made one difference.
There's a good roll. Okay. And that is 4 wounds, -3.
6-up saves. Hup! I saved 1. So 3 are
damage?
squished.
Yeah, 3 damage.
Okay, so let me remove these 3 here.
No,
Because I want the big chopper left alive.
Makes
because
sense.
he's damage free. Damage 2. But let's do some reanimation protocols. In theory, I'll bring one back. So the theory goes. I don't bring it back any. Oh dear. Swings and
okay.
roundabouts with the old
Reanimation.
reanimation in this game. That's fine. So let me pile them in.
Yeah.
Right. I'll fight you back then.
Yes.
So I've got 1 Reap Blade and 1 Fresher into you. Let's start with the Reap Blade.
Lad.
Hitting on freeze. Right. Fine. Wounding on freeze, re-rolling for the king. It's 2 wounds at -4, so -3 because of Armor of Contempt.
So 6s.
Right. I see. Right. The Fresher. Re-rolling the 1s because I hate everything. Okay, well I knocked over a hit there, so I've got a full house. And this guy is unfortunately only strength 6, so 5s to wound here.
Okay.
But re-rolling for the king. Right. Right, that's 2 wounds there at -4 because of my Protocol of the Hungry Void.
So -3, so 6s
-3,
again.
so 6s, but these are only damage 1, so he will live.
Okay,
So 2 shrugs to make.
2 shrugs. Yep. Okay, so he's alive on 2 wounds.
Well, that was a pretty good charge there,
Oh, lad.
boss.
He's getting a promotion.
Oh, goodness me.
That's my turn.
I mean, that wasn't bad actually, given
Wasn't bad.
the tools at your disposal.
Yes, it definitely looked bleak at the beginning when that first Venerable Dreadnought missed everything. That was, I was like, oh no, not again. But the other Venerable Dreadnought made, quite frankly, he's alive.
Unprecedented.
He's done a good job. So that's great. I did get a point for Purifying Ritual because obviously I failed the second one. That's fine. Sort of moot now because I can't get the full 3. I did start my scam on my Librarian, who is protected by the Terminator, so that's good for me, so I can get on the 2 objectives. Other than that, yeah, I'm happy with where the Dreadnought is. It might slow you up a little bit,
Yeah.
but we'll see. You've still got a lot of good assets available and ready to go.
I do, yes. No, crucially, you haven't turned off that objective or stopped the strategic scan, so that's good for me.
Fine.
And I am going to rack up a bunch of the primary.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's have a look at turn 2. It is the command phase.
Indeed.
And I just, unfortunately, yes, I'm just out of range of the revive with the Technomancer over there. Because otherwise I would do the Deathless Arise.
Yes.
To do it twice. But instead I'm going to bring back one of my normal destroyers over here. So... He's back.
Isn't he? From outer space.
Yes. And my Will Be Done is going to go from the Silent King onto both the units of destroyers.
Nice.
The Chronometron from my Chronomancer here is going to go onto these Scarabs here.
Tricky.
I've done my living metal. That's that for command phase. Let's do some movement. The scarabs will move, as mentioned, towards this objective. And because there will be 4 models there to your 3, I will be able to control that objective and therefore open up the machine. The Scorpex, having enough of this nonsense, actually fall back over this way. Their plasma sight buddy will join them because he can fly over there. And the scarabs are going to take their place and go and potentially eat, and by potentially I mean absolutely eat, the armor of this dreadnought. The Lich Guard are going to just step through the wall here and begin strategically scanning this middle objective. These Scarabs get a mighty 6 on their advance, allowing them plenty of opportunity to act as a smite screen for my Lich Guard. The Wraiths have spent the entire last 2 turns doing the hokey cokey. Back and forth they go, but it is vital for the screening. Technomancer and Chronomancer once again moving forward to act as an envoy for the Silent King, who will then also just do a little shift with his menhirs to make way for himself. That's that.
Nice.
We're going to do some shooting now.
Yes.
And we're going to start off with my fat boys.
The fat boys.
They're not going to shoot into the Lucky Dread down here because they don't need to, really. Instead, I'm going to try and kill some Terminators.
Very well.
So we've got 3 shots into them. Because of my will be done, they are hitting on freeze because of your dents, because of your
balances
tides and whatnot. I am re-rolling because of the Silent King, though. Okay, that's 2 hits.
Come out in the wash. Yeah.
2's to wound you. It's 1 wound.
A wound. Hey, yep. Loves it.
All right, never mind. It is time for the King.
The King of Silence.
The menhirs are doing a split.
Yep.
1 Terminator, 1 Terminator. We're going to go 1 for 1.
1 for 1.
And then the King himself is now in range with both the Staff of Stars and the Scepter of Eternal Glory.
Very well.
And we're going to kill these interceptors.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start with the menhirs. 1 menhir into the Terminators down here. This is a warning shot for the interceptors.
Yeah, they're like,
I hit you. I wound you. It's a 4-up save or death.
Oh.
Kasplat.
1 is slain.
1 is 6 damaged.
Yep.
Then the one into the Terminators on this side. This is a warning to the Librarian. He's scanning. He just goes, stop it.
Beep, 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 beep.
I hit you.
Yes.
It's marked for death.
Marked for life.
Oh, very nice. Okay. So now the Staff of Stars. So we've got 9 shots here. Effectively, everyone, it's freeze to hit, rerolling, freeze to wound, and then freeze to save. Don't worry about the modifiers and the rerolls. We've done it for you. Rerolling. Okay, I dropped 2. We're looking for freeze to wound. Yee! Hiya! This is not so good. 3 free-up saves. These are damage 1. Lovely.
Okay, 1 is slain.
The Scepter of Eternal Glory. Rerolling. Ah, glorious.
Glory.
2's to wound because it is strength 8. So there's 1, 2, 3 wounds of a 4-up save this time. Oh,
Okay, 2 remain.
that.
And 2 remain.
Final bit of shooting.
Yes.
It's also worth pointing out that I made a bit of a tactical boo-boo with my Chronomancer here. If I'd have moved him a few inches further forward, I could have picked this guy here with the counter-temporal nanomine, so he would be halved his charge.
Ooh, interesting.
There, it's fine.
It's one of those.
It's the first time I've used it, so I will eventually remember it. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to do the Lockhurst Destroyers into the Paladins are dead. The Terminators.
Paladins are long gone. Yeah,
The Terminators. And we've spent 1 CP on Solar Pulse. So no dents, no light cover.
I will raise your 1 CP for True Silver Armor. So they are True Silver Armor.
Because I'm not using Extermination Protocols for reroll wounds. I understand and respect the
Costly,
decision.
but hey, we'll see how it goes.
It's 2's to hit you. Rerolling. It's full house. It's now 4's to wound you, you say?
Yes.
No rerolls here. Let's see how vital the 2 CP could have been. Pretty vital. Oh dear.
Yeah, that's that.
And that was already a terrible roll.
But
so only the 3 wounds there at -2 because of Armor of Contempt. So 4-up saves.
3, you said, yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Do I what they are? D3?
D3 damage.
Yep.
The first one does kill one. Okay, so I do kill 2. Okay, that's fine.
That comes out in the wash.
that.
But still, I'm glad I used that because it has kept the squad alive.
Yes. Charge phase.
Yeah.
It's the Scarabs into the Dreadnought. I can't fail this charge, but just for posterity's sake, it's a 9.
Cheeky fellas.
Let me move him in. The Scarabs have jumped over you and pinned you up against the wall. Help me! It's very tempting to do self-destruction, but I'm not going to because you've got the 5-up shrug and it's only D3 mortal wounds. It's just a bit too risky.
Yeah.
1 wound remaining, I would absolutely. So instead, I'm just going to chew through your armor.
Yes.
Lots of attacks.
Lots of attacks.
That's a lot of auto wounds as well, which is very nice.
That really helps with the
Yes.
toughness strength dynamic.
Yes, because it is now 6s to wound.
Yes.
6s would do an extra AP because of my Protocol of the Hungry Void, but you've got Armor of Contempt, so you don't care. Right, well that is 7 free-up saves, would you believe? Didn't need to explode, because I've got them into your joints. Well, you do have 3 6-up shrugs to make.
Come on! Well,
He got eaten by Scarabs, doesn't he explode?
Does he explode?
Yay! Very well. Well, thus concludeth the turneth and therefore the battle roundeth.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, my turns are very quick because
Yeah.
this army literally just goes move, action, move, action, move, action, move, action.
It's like a big Hoover that goes, point.
Give me your victory point.
Yes.
So speaking of, Ancient Machineries is completed for 4 points down there,
Well
which is
done.
really nice to get that one out of the way.
Really nice.
As it is a Treasure of Aeons, as is the central one, that gives me 3 points for those 2. I got 2 points for Appall the Witch for killing this Lucky Dread, and I've started to chip away at Terminators and other units here.
You're whittling me.
Yes. So we've got the strategic scan going on under here with the Lich Guard. We've got the Scorpex moving over to be healed. We've got Wraiths and Scarabs protecting my flanks. But you do have reserves.
Thankfully, my strategic scan is complete here, so I'm getting a few bits and pieces. But yes, the reserves are going to have to do a bit of work. Command phase. Drago's going to put his reroll to hit onto the Terminators because they're going to have to move forth and do some serious barneying.
They've got a lot of work
They've got a lot of work to do. Everyone has a lot of work to do. They've all been told the brief and now they've got to get to it. It's a really busy day. They've got to do some bits. The Terminators burst forth from the wall to take the battle to the enemy. They are sick of hiding. They will now do some stabbing. The Librarian is also moving forward. I have plans for him. That will be clear in a moment. And then the Interceptors are going to rush forth to fill the gap left by the Terminators. Drago is also moving up to support, as are Dreadnoughts. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Stomp, stomp, stomp. The Interceptors are zipping over here, so they have a pick of psychic powers and charges. The Terminators move forth from their positions to take back this objective from these pesky Scarabs. Reinforcements have arrived. More reinforcements have arrived. It's a big psychic phase, this. I'm up against the wall a little bit here, and I really need to come out swinging to keep me in this game and potentially claw it back. To do so, I've put some units into the back field. That does net me behind enemy lines, but I need to get Gate off to get my Librarian, who's a bit of a psychic powerhouse, to exactly where I need him. It's a really tricky one, this. We're just going to have to see how it goes. Wish me luck, Grey Knight fans. Wish me luck. It's psychic time, and it's quite a big psychic phase, this one. I really need this to come off. So Drago is going to attempt to cast Gate of Infinity onto the Librarian.
Okay.
I'm not using Psychic Channeling because I need to use the CP for the Librarian.
Okay. Now, I can deny you, but I can't use my stratagem to deny you.
Yes,
You're just outside of 18.
Yeah. I needed to be close enough for Drago to do other things, but also then to cast power.
Oh, it's a big cast. It's a 10.
It's a 10.
I need an 11 to deny this.
Yep.
This is a really crucial power to deny because
Yep.
at that point the Librarian's not doing all of his super duper stuff anyway, so it's kind of fine.
Yeah.
There's no point trying to save the deny for other things.
No, may as well go for
11.
it. Bosh!
No, that is a 4.
Okay. The librarian has arrived. Good old Drago. Sorry me out there. He's now going to cast Warp Shaping to take us into Tide of Convergence for the stabbies.
No.
That goes off.
Damn.
Success. Only just though. The Interceptors are going to try and smite that last scarab by the objective.
I understand.
It does go off on a 6.
Okay.
You're not planning to do your...
No, so I've got my Empiric Damping, which can turn off a psychic power on a 4+, or auto deny on a 4+, but it's only 18 inches because Necrons are an early codex when things were balanced. So they're not in range of anything over in the backfield here, which is unfortunate, but that's fine. Obviously, James has played that correctly.
Cool.
I could deny some stuff over here, but I'm going to see what I need to do. So you can have that.
Cool. The damage.
It is 2. It does kill the base.
Whew.
Control does revert to you, which means you can do the ritual.
Great success. The Terminators, now freshly in control of their objective, will start to do Purifying Ritual. Whoop. It does not go off.
After all that.
After all of that.
It's like I planned it.
That's fine. It's fine. We're fine, everyone. It's fine. I'm not allowed nice things. The Interceptors will try it. They don't do it either. At least the bad dice happened. This is post-Gate of Infinity.
Yeah.
The Terminators are starting proceedings over this side of the board with a hammer hand on themselves. Whoop. That does not go off. Excellent, cool. We will move on to the Venerable Dreadnought in the middle, who will cast a smite into the scarabs.
Yes. It does go off.
It does go off. The damage!
Just the one.
Okay, fine. The next Venerable Dreadnought will also smite, but he will now need 7.
A 7.
7, the damage.
2.
It does finish off a base.
Does kill the base.
Scarabs. Come now to the Librarian. He's got the gem of a knock 2, so he's going to pop that. Gives him a +2 to cast.
That's nice.
Base, very nice. Then also spending a CP on Powerful Adept to add 6 inches to the range of his psychic powers. So that means Purifying Flame will now be in range, and Vortex of Doom of your heavy destroyers.
Yes.
We will start with Purifying Flame. Whoop. On 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that does go off. So that's, because he's got Psychic Epitome, that's flat 4 damage.
1 dies then.
1 is just powed out of existence.
What's the range of Vortex of Doom?
Which is normally 12, but with the extra 6, it will now be, so...
You've cleverly done it the right way round. But is it the closest?
Ooh, let's consult that, just in case. Is the closest Vortex.
Yes.
So obviously you've removed that. I did it that way around to make sure I could at least kill a base because of the extra wounds, and then we'll see how we get on, because now we're going to the scarabs.
Yeah, because you could have done Vortex first, but then I would just remove that one anyway, and then Purifying Flames going into the bases anyway. So either way, it
sort of it works.
6.5
with Vortex, you're not guaranteed to. You might roll 2 1s, and then nobody dies,
except for you.
Except for me. Yes. Cool. So Vortex.
Well, it goes off.
Definitely goes off. The damage onto the scarabs. 2, 3, 4 because of the Psychic Epitome, so that will kill that.
1 is dead.
The Cascade won't affect anyone really.
Because it's only 3 inches, isn't it?
Yes, so they will be out because they're up above.
Okay.
Excellent. The Interceptors are going to try to smite into the Wraith.
Sure.
Yep.
Just
makes it the damage. It's 2.
Not quite.
Not quite, but not too bad. We'll then come to the Terminators in front of the Librarian, who will also try to smite. This time, because I killed a base, they'll be able to smite the Scorpex.
You're slowly chipping away at my back line.
Slowly.
I don't like it.
That does not go off. That is understandable, because it's quite high cast. The Venerable Dreadnoughts now will start the shooting phase. All their weapons, for the first one, will go into the Destroyers. They'll try and chase you with a Stormbolter.
Yes, this is the way.
I'll give you another one, because of Drago. This is your choice to wound you. Wound you the one time.
A singular wound, is it? I'm fine.
You are traced, though.
Yeah.
The Multi-Melter hits you twice. The Multi-Melter
Double 2! No.
Wounds you twice.
They both go through. Are you in half range here? No, you're not. So you'll
No, I
need
won't
to
be in
roll
half
these
range.
one at a time, I'm afraid. The
first
first one does kill one. The second
one.
Not quite.
Not quite. Very well, we'll move on to the next Venerable Dreadnought, who will do the same.
Well, I do have reanimation.
Oh, yes, you do have your reanimation. I apologise.
So, just for reference, everyone, it will be this one here that I remove. Just because he's ever so slightly closer, it's just to increase any potential charges. He doesn't stand back up, so he is indeed dead forever.
He is removed. The next Venerable Dreadnought
will be the wounded one.
Very well. We'll open with the Storm Blotter. Hits you twice to wound you.
No wounds, but I have been traced.
You have been traced. The multi-melter. I can reroll that because Drago. It's nice. 2 hits to wound you.
Oh, James.
Marvellous. Lord Caldor Drago.
I mean, look, he did it last time.
He did it last time. He's going to shoot his Stormbolter, Mastercrafted, into the destroyers.
Once again, though,
Okay.
doing exactly what he needs to.
To wound you.
Ooh.
There's 2 wounds.
Ooh. Exactly what he needs
He's
to.
done it again.
But has he?
Has he?
Yes, he has.
Yes, he has. Well done, Drago. I knew I could count on you. The Terminators in front of Drago, who have received his blessings, are going to shoot into the Wraiths. See if I can finish one off. Yeah, we'll be able to re-roll their hit roll here, which is
already very good.
for them, but it's a very good start. Okay, cool. Get those out the way. To wound you.
5s, please. Or not, as the case may be.
3 wounds.
Okay. Well, 1 is on 1 wound. Well, one is now on 2 wounds and 1 is dead. Does the one that died stand back up? No, never mind.
Excellent. The Terminators on the other flank now are going to shoot their Stormbolters at the Scarabs over on the other objective, not the ones in front of them. Oh. Yeah, it's okay. All things considered. To wound you will be 3s.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not bad. That is 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 wounds.
8 wounds. Well, they were Chronometrons, so
Yep.
they do have a 5-up invulnerable save, which has kicked in significantly.
Done well there.
So you do kill a base.
Nice.
And wound another, but do you kill a base? Ooh. No.
Nearly. The Interceptor's in the building and I'm going to shoot at the Wraiths again just to try and thin them down. They can reroll those 1s. Got some Drago, thankfully.
Good shooting.
Good shooting, rooting tooting. To wound you will be 5 and 6s. They wound you 4 times.
4 times, you say?
Splendid.
4 times, you say? 4 times. Come on, Wraiths. Another one is dead and down to 2 wounds. Does he stand back up? No. Ooh, pesky thing.
The freshly arrived Terminators are going to raise their Stormbolters at the Scorpex.
And they will cut the bullets out of the air with Whirling Onslaught.
Makes sense.
Might be a bit superfluous here because I am getting a 2-up save, but with the way that I've been rolling, I can't really afford to lose much else in the way of assets right now, especially not to just stray bolt guns. So
yes. So here we go. They've done pretty well on the old hitting.
Case in point.
Yeah. Now to wound you will be 6s.
It will be 6s now, though.
Something like that again would be nice for me. Just the 2.
It did net me 4 extra wounds, just not
made a
need to worry
really
about.
actually made a quite a big difference there.
Yeah. And I saved them both
Nicely done.
stylishly.
The Interceptors are going to try and finish, or not finish off, but try and whittle down some Scarabs because they are in rapid fire.
I would be impressed if you could finish them off.
Yeah, that would be quite something.
I mean,
Good start.
it's a good start. Wow.
I dropped 1. 6, 7 wounds there, sir.
Oh, goodbye.
Beep, boop.
5 ups. Right. Well, that's right. Okay.
Very well.
Well, 1's dead, and 1 is down to 1 wound remaining. Is the 1 dead forever?
Let's find out.
No. He's dead forever.
He's gone forever.
So you're
Oh,
dead,
sweet prince.
and you can go down to 1 wound remaining.
Last bit of shooting, because I probably should have shot with them earlier, but now they can't see anything, so that's fine. The Librarian is going to shoot his combi melter, but just the bolter portion of it hits in range, at the 1 wound Scarab.
Yeah.
See if he gets lucky. He does hit you twice to wound you. He
Just
wounds you
one.
once.
Does kill him.
Woo!
Or does it?
Does he?
Oh, so close.
So close.
Every time it taunts me. Okay, goodbye, Scarab.
Cool. I think that's all my shooting now. I've got to do some charges. Charge phase. The Terminators on the objective are going to charge at those Scarabs. Can't really fail, let's see what they get. Will they get a double?
I mean, a double 1 will get them in, but good to get them out of the way now, I suppose.
Yay! The Dreadnought, the Terminators, and Drago are going to do some charges. The Dreadnought needs a 7. See what he gets.
Yes.
He makes it in. The Terminators. Yeah, they won't make that.
Yeah, they needed a 7 as well.
They did need a 7, yes. Pantaloons. Let me do some measuring just in case Drago might still be able to make it in. We imagine it actually was within 7, so
Just within,
just
yes.
within,
Whisker.
so they do make it. Draco is now going to attempt to charge. He needs a huge charge, basically. He needs
a big old
He
charge.
needs a big old charge.
That is not
He's
quite a
not
big old charge.
in. We'll just have to see how it goes. The interceptors are also going to charge those scarabs, just to get as many bodies in as possible.
Yes.
They very much make it in. The Terminators over the far objective are going to try and finish off these pesky scarabs.
You will fail. At failing.
It's gone good so far. And if I get it again, the mortal wounds would be very, very nice.
Well, I have no save. You need a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2 pluses. They're dead.
They're very dead. Yes.
To be fair, only
Actually,
just.
only just.
But
But I
they're
guess
dead.
they get the 2 mortal wounds in addition, but yes, they are finished.
Goodbye.
Which is nice for me. The next squad of Terminators are going to go into the scarabs in the centre.
You are re-rolling for Drago, though.
Yeah. Oh, yes, they are re-rolling.
You gave them the buff ting.
Yes, which is nice for them.
Not for me.
That's good. Well,
You've been very accurate this turn. It's very upsetting.
very, very
I
rare.
believe these guys are also dead, because that's 1, 2, 3,
2, 4, 6,
Yes.
8, 10, 12.
They're 2 damage a pop.
Yes.
So, yes, they're
Yes.
dead.
They are dead. Excellent. Mission achieved. Good work, boys. That was my turn. They did the work they kind of needed to there.
Yeah.
Drago is about out in the wind, but I took the gamble hoping to make that charge. Glad the librarian's over there. I've kind of got where I wanted to be in the back fields. You still have a lot of very scary assets available though, so
Yes.
the counter charge now in the middle could be a bit painful.
It could be, yes, but you've racked up a load of points
Yeah.
on the no prisoners there, and you've started to get on the board with the behind enemy lines. And crucially, this combat here has, because I've got 5 models in range, you have 6 models in range.
Yes.
So you have shut me down 4
just
points
about,
on the primary, which is
Yeah.
very nice.
Which is nice.
But it's time now to countercharge you and do the murders.
So let's go like, ching.
It is the command phase, turn 3 for the Necrons. I've picked up some primary points. I will heal in a moment with my various wounded units. Point of note, I forgot to mention this at the start of the battle round. I am still in Protocol of the Southern Storm as a result of the Triarch's will from Sazerac. I chose that to be active for 2 turns. I'm still in Directive 2, so I'm not getting the extra movement, but I am able to shoot and do actions.
Which is very nice.
Which is very nice indeed. In terms of command phase abilities, we're going to do my will be done from Sazerac. Yes, I've said it correctly. Onto the destroyers and the Scorpex.
Yep.
We're also going to spend a CP on the Deathless Arise for my Technomancer, who is going to bring back a Scorpec and a destroyer because he can do it twice.
Very nice.
And the Chronometron is going to, I mentioned that. I said my will be done is going to go onto the Scorpex and the destroyers. Obviously not, it's going onto the Lich Guard.
The Lich Guard.
And the Scorpex.
They're going to do some destroying, is what's happening.
The Chronomancer is going to do his Chronometron on the Scorpex for the reroll charges, and that very nice 5-up in Bun.
Very nice.
So, let's get to it. I mean, it's pretty obvious, really, isn't it?
The time has come.
The Wraith is healed with Living Metal, and rolled a 3 on their advance, placing them here outside of heroic intervention range to turn off your primary. The destroyers are going to go down to here, and they are going to start doing strategic scan because they're still able to shoot and do so thanks to my protocol. Welcome to Crabtown! Population me, destination your face. This scarab here, ancient machineries. That's 4 victory points. It's very stupid. I'm not a child, honestly. I am a 32-year-old man. The Chronomancer, because he has fly, is just going to jump over here, and the Technomancer... Oh, there's a Lich Guard here. The Lich Guard is actually through the wall, and the Technomancer is actually underneath because it's really awkward to try and get them in there. That is my movement phase done. It's time to bring in some Ophidians. I can't imagine the sound that they make, but I bet it's horrible. The Ophidians have arrived. The Chronomancer will kick off proceedings and he yeets a bunch of nanomines at Drago. So he is halved advance and charge rolls for next turn. So just in case he wants to get cheeky and come and Barney in the center, he's actually going to need to get quite a high charge roll.
Can we use a movement?
But that won't matter because he's going to die. I'm going to fire my Aeon Stave at him. It's 2 shots. I hit you once. It's strength 5. It is a wound. It's -2. No invuns allowed, weirdly. Yeah. But you still have a 3-up save
anyway. Whoop.
because of Armor of Contempt.
That's it.
But it's one of those weird weapons. It's like, that's cool. The 2 heavy destroyers are going to try and kill this dreadnought in the center.
Very well.
I hit you both times.
Yes.
Freeze to wound you. Ooh, schwei. 1 wound at -4, so -3. 3d3 damage. That's a bit better. Unfortunately, it's 3d3 damage and not -1 off of the unfortunately for you. So it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6, okay, yes.
6 shrugs to make, please. Die.
He makes 1 shrug. He is alive on 3 wounds.
Very well. The Technomancer will fire into this dread, see if he can get lucky.
Yes.
Okay, 2 hits. It is 1 wound at -2, so -1. It is damage 1.
Oh no.
6-up shrug.
Oh, come on out.
Boink.
Cruel.
He's got 2 wounds remaining. The Silent King, the Silent Split. 2 menhirs into this dread here, and then the Staff of Stars and the Scepter of Eternal Glory into the 2 wound dread in the center. Let's start with an amuse-bouche of a Staff of Stars.
Amuse-bouche.
I hit you all of the times.
Good.
5s to wound you. I wound you 3 times at -1 because of Armor of Contempt. These are damage 1 a pop. Well.
Shrugs.
Yeah, just 2 shrugs. Oh, he's got a wound remaining. A wound remaining. The Scepter of Eternal Glory. I hit you all the times. The Scepter of Eternal Glory. I wound you all of the times because it is strength 8. It is -2 because of Armor of Contempt. These are damage 2 a pop, so damage 1. He's taken 1 damage. 1 6-up shrug. Does he explode? Just for funsies. No, never mind. Okay. The 2 menhirs into the other dread. Rerolling because I am caught. I hit you both times.
Yep.
Wounding you on freeze. Ooh. 1 wound at -3 because of Armor of Contempt. It is 6 damage. Oosh. So 5 damage because you
5 damage. I say that's 3 damage.
He's got 5 wounds remaining, but another dread is down. Let's see if we can finish off this dread with my lucky Lockhurst destroyers.
Very well.
9 shots. Rerolling for the king.
Whoa. They've been stars today.
Okay. We're looking for 5s to wound, so if I get that again, that would be nice.
We're nice.
Only the 1. Okay. It's -2 because of Armor of Contempt. Does go through D3 damage. It is 2 damage because of your dreadness.
Yep.
No. 3 wounds remaining, but he still stands. That is my shooting phase done. Let's do some murder in the combat phase. We will begin the charge phase by infusing these boys with madness.
Very well.
I do kill 1.
Very well.
Fine. But they are angry. And do I make the charge? Yes, I do.
You do. Yes.
Okay.
Could be a problem for those boys.
Next up, the Lich Guard into both the Interceptors and the Terminators. I can't fail, but it's just for the purposes of getting distance. 6, perfectly fine. The King will charge the Terminators. The King will not charge the Terminators.
Very well.
Final charge, the Ophidians into the Interceptors. We need an 8 because of the ruins. No, that's fine.
Very well.
Very well indeed. Let's start with the Murder Crabs.
Crabs murder.
In the fight phase. We'll start with the Reap Blades.
Very well.
8 attacks, hitting on 2s because of my will be done. Rerolling 1s because I hit everything. Okay, I don't hate you that much, it seems. That's
a little glimmer of not hating.
A little bit, a momentary thing. I was just like, you're all right. Your friend, however.
Remembers a childhood memory.
That is, however, 7 wounds going straight onto your 5-up invulnerable save, and these are damage free.
7 wounds.
No CP to do.
Terminatus.
They are, okay, there's 1 guy left alive.
1 guy's left alive. Oh, it's all right.
And
all right, go ahead.
And now the hyperphase freshers.
Yes.
Rerolling because I hate everything. I hit you all of the times. Now, the AP on this one does matter on the 6s to win with my Hungry Void, because this will make them AP4 and therefore you're 5 up, otherwise it's 4 up saves. Okay, fine. 1, 2, 3 saves of 4+. These are 2 damage, however. Ooh, there's one guy left alive with a wound. The Lich Guard, the shield wall. 4 of them are going into the Interceptors. The remaining 6 are going into the Terminators.
Very well.
Not making the charge with the King wasn't necessarily a big deal in terms of his attacks, but it would have been nice to give these guys +1 attack.
Exactly right,
because then they would be within 3 inches of him, but never mind. We'll start with the Interceptors. Hitting on 2s, because of my will be done. No rerolls here, they don't hate everything, but fine.
Give it a go.
Yes, it's freeze to wound rerolling because of the King, however.
Oh.
Rerolling because of the King. Right, now those 6s, because of the Protocol of the Hungry Void, are AP4, so AP3. These will be at AP3, so AP2 because of our.
And this is into the Interceptors.
This is into the Interceptors.
Yeah.
So those are at 6 up saves, and these are at 5 up saves.
What's the damage on these?
Just 1.
Okay, cool. Yep, I'll do these first.
5 up saves. Okay, so 1's dead.
1 is dead, and
3
now
6s.
3 6s.
Or preferably not. Okay, on to the Terminators. Rinse and repeat.
The one on the floor
with
was
more
6.
attacks. Of course it was.
Classic me.
Of course it was. Right, we do drop a couple again, but the My Will Be Done has come into play very nicely there. Freeze to wound rerolling.
Yes.
That's good already.
It's a good start.
Okay, fine. So, weirdly, not a single 6. So these are all AP2, so these will just go onto your 4 up saves.
There's a lot of them though.
But there is a lot, but they are only damage 1.
Yes,
it is
true.
13, which is, they say, unlucky for some. Is it unlucky for James? But it is 4 up saves. I only kill 1 1/3.
They've done well there.
They've done well. They've
very well
They've
there.
tanked it a little bit, but I have killed the Interceptors, and those Terminators are going to be, yes.
The Terminators in the centre that are still alive are going to attack you back.
Yes. They are still rerolling.
They're still Dragoed, aren't they?
They are Dragoed.
Good. There we go. Okay. Good Dragoing there, lads.
Freeze to wound. Swords or halberds?
They're halberds.
So yeah, freeze to wound.
Not too bad. 4 wounds with a mortal wound in addition, camming convergence.
Okay, so 4 up invulnerable saves. So 1 dies, 1 takes a wound. Does he stand back up? No, not quite. So 1 is wounded and 1 is dead.
Cool. Then the Paladin, who is alive from the Scorpex. That is the Justice Guard in the squad, so he gets 4 attacks. He's clearly a bit scared, so he misses you twice. He will be wounding you on 4s this time, though, because he's strength 5 with the sword.
And I'm toughness 5.
Yeah. So he just wounds you the 1 time.
Ting, 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 ting. So I find a unit of general.
Oh, sorry, there was 1 wound. Sorry.
I'm toughness 5. You rolled 3.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm making it up. Yeah, you're right.
Right, that is the end of combat. There will be morale to do for them.
Morale.
Pretty key one, this one. You do fail. Okay.
Pretty crucial, that.
Yeah. Now, obviously, I'm not able to consolidate or pile into your thing, so they are going to be smoten in the Wotan.
But it means I've got to be careful with these guys, because he would have been another unit from behind enemy lines. But we have to find out how that works.
So, a decent turn. Didn't quite pick up that kill there, or make the charge with the Ophidians, because that would have pretty much cinched it, but never mind. I've cleared out another Dread. The center is mine.
Yeah.
Drago has been slightly debuffed. That crucially has netted me points for treasures of the Aeons, as well as turning you off the primary, because they're obsec.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
It's so hard to stop that as well,
Yeah.
especially I'm quite thin on the ground.
Yeah, and the Librarian is going to do the damage, but he is under threat if he doesn't. I'm still within 6 of my bug, so he doesn't flee. I do have Interceptors over there, but that's fine. I've still got some good assets on the ground. It's currently 56 points in my favour to 38. You are going to pick up 4 points on the primary, but only the 4, which could be a big swing going into turn 4.
I'll see what happens. Come on, phase! Really quick one here. Drago is going to put the re-rolls onto the Interceptors.
I understand. He'll need it because I'm in Protocol of the Undying Legion's Directive DOS, which is reroll a Reanimation Protocol, which, as we've seen with my Reanimation, I've been missing them by a 1 each time. So
could be a problem. The Interceptors are moving forward towards this objective over here with the intention of doing some moving and shooting and moving again with a cheeky psychic power. The Terminators move forward towards the Lich Guard. Drago is moving as close as possible to the Wraiths as he can. Oh, get out of the way, Spikes, so that he can make the charge without failing it later. The Interceptors are zipping forward to enter the fray. The Dreadnought moves forward to get some targets. The Librarian just moves his move because he can, but he'll do a drive-by smiting in a moment. Cheeky one this, but we're opening the psychic phase with Ethereal Castigation from the Interceptors. Need a 6. I'm going to use a CP to reroll that.
okay.
We come to Drago now. He is going to spend a CP on Psychic Challenge for 3d6 casts, just to try and make this go off. He's going to try and negate the Interceptors who failed their power.
I understand.
Oh,
7.
it is what I need.
I am going to attempt to deny you.
you.
The Noctilith beacons flare on life and say no to lift beacons.
No to lift beacons. Cool. There, he will then try to smite into the Wraith.
Sure. I mean, sure.
On a 10, that does go off. The damage.
Kills one.
Kills one.
Very good.
Excellent. The Terminators on the other side then will try and purify that site because while they still can. They do. That goes off. That's nice.
Super pure.
So I guess he's very pure. Very pure site. The Terminators in the middle will smite into their combat.
Well, that's a super smite.
That's a super smite. That's very nice.
So I'm going to spend a CP on Empiric Damping
Yep.
from the King to deny that on a 4+.
Very well.
No.
Okay.
He's very angry with your naughty psychers.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't see the card. You say
5,
Plus
yeah.
5.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. The Dreadnought will then try and smite the Lich Guard.
You really want that super smite, don't you? Well, it's a good thing I did deny one of them.
There you go. The
damage.
The damage.
It's not 11.
Yeah, it's
It's
D6.
D6.
Sorry, what am I doing? Yeah, I'll roll that again.
Just roll a 6.
I did roll a 6.
So that's 3 dead. Very nice.
There we go.
Ouch.
The Interceptors here will now try and smite into the Destroyers.
Just the D3 this time. Okay.
Wounds.
Does take 1 down.
Little
to
chip damage.
1 remaining.
The Librarian is then going to cast his powers into the Scorpex. He'll start a Vortex of Doom, actually.
Sure. I don't know what it's cast on.
No, it doesn't go off. That's Pantaloonies. Oh, he will then do Purifying Flame. No. No.
Oh no, James.
Well, poopies! Poopies is what the Librarian says as he raises his melter gun. The Gummy Melter, it will shoot the melter portion, just that, to reduce the shooting both. To try and finish him off. He does hit.
Mark for death. It's a wound. A 5 up invulnerable save for the Chronometron. Yeah, I'm fine.
The Interceptors will shoot their Storm Bolters at the Destroyers to finish that last guy off.
Oh man.
It's like the wheels have come off the wagon, exploded, and the shrapnel's gone into my eyes. It's a wound.
It's a wound.
That's a wound.
Okay, just the one?
Yep.
I'm
Yeah,
fine.
he's fine. The Interceptors over here, in the middle of the board, will shoot at the Destroyers as well, just to see if I can finish them off. See if I can get lucky, because I need some luck. That would be nice. They are thankfully Dragoed, so that would be nice. Cool. If I can get that again, that'd be nice.
Yes.
To wound you. Ooh, okay. That is 3 wounds, Wilson.
You do get him, but do you?
Do I?
No, even with a reroll, you get it.
He is dead. That is nice. The Dreadnought will shoot his Storm Bolter to trace the Destroyers, and then will shoot his twin multi-melter.
I understand.
Um,
Drago?
I think is he in 6? We'll quickly measure that because just in case. We're doing it live!
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Nice. I can't re-roll those 2, which is nice for me. Does translate very well. Yes, still roll 1.
I've been traced once.
I've been traced.
I'm fine.
You're fine. The multi-melter!
Yes.
Advice.
Freeze to wound me.
Well,
one is dead.
One is dead.
Because it's in half range, so I don't get a save, and it is +2.
He's done.
Or is he? No, he's
definitely dead. Yay! The Terminators are going to shoot their storm bolters at the Scarab.
Goodbye. You dropped 2, I think. Okay.
It's okay, actually, not too bad. 3's to wound you.
Cheers. Okay. What's that? 8?
It is, yes, 2, 4, 6, 7, actually.
7? You ever see someone roll 5, 6 up saves out of 7? You still haven't. He's dead.
He's dead! Charge phase! The Terminators will charge the Lich Guard.
And destroy everything in their path.
Aren't. They have made it.
They do. Okay.
The Dreadnought will then also charge the Lich Guard.
Okay.
He also makes that.
Okay.
He can't really fail Drago. He can't actually. But I'll roll for him anyway. It's incidental, but he will definitely be in. That is all my charges because stuff went wrong over here. I want to keep them behind enemy lines at the end of this turn. Changing my mind slightly. I am going to make a charge with the Interceptors because if I can kill that destroyer, I then can deny you points, and it probably actually calculates better in my favour.
Yeah, you'd lose 2 secondary points, but effectively deny me 7 primary points.
Yes, because also Cesar isn't then obsec, so then I will be contesting it, which is nice for me. So we'll give it a go. Whoop. 5, 6, 7. I think they just
7 will do it.
In. Yes, they will.
All right.
The Terminators, who have made the charge, are going to open proceedings in the combat phase.
Wise.
They're going all into the Lich Guard, because you do have, I see it now.
I've got 2 CP to interrupt.
Whoop. It's a reasonable start.
Okay.
Okay. 3's to wound you.
3's to wound me. Oh. Okay, no mortal wounds, but 4
wounds.
Each one failed, is 1 dead. I do fail 1, so only 1 is slain. Does he stand back up with a reroll? He does. Nasty.
The Dreadnought will now attack the Lich Guard. Yep. That's right, he's not in Drago range.
2's to wound me.
But he does wound you 3 times.
4 invulnerable saves.
Yes. Drago now will try and finish off this wraith. He'll be hitting on 2s.
Yeah, good thing too.
Good. To wound you will be 3s. He does wound you 3 times, 5 times, 2 mortal wounds in addition.
Well, it's fine. He's only going to have taken those 2 mortal wounds. No, he's dead. Oh, he's only just dead. No, I don't need him alive anymore. It's fine. He's done. I mean, it would get me primary points, but it's fine. I don't need him. It's fine.
The Interceptors will now go into the Destroyer.
I think he might be dead, Jim.
Maybe. Jeez, they've done well so far. I am wounding you now on 4s.
Yeah, he's dead because of the mortal
wounds. Yeah, they've done him, but you can't reanimate from mortals either. Yay.
The Lich Guard now will attack back into the Terminators, which haven't attacked yet. Hitting on 2 still because of my will be done. Okay, very good. Wounding on 3's rerolling for the King.
Yes.
Oh, goodbye.
Goodbye, good sir.
So, the one that fell off the board. Okay, re-rolling. Right, there's the 6s. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 saves at -3 because of Armor of Contempt. So basically 4 saves of 5 up and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 saves of 4+.
4 saves of 5 up. We'll start with one in my hand.
So 1 is dead, just.
Yes.
1 was on
one wound.
And then the remaining saves.
6, 7, 8, 9.
4+.
10, 4+.
The unit is white.
They are very dead.
Huzzah for me.
How's my turn?
Well, it could have gone better.
Yes.
But you have denied me some reasonably significant points.
I've denied you some points, but realistically the points I needed to get and what I wanted to happen hasn't really happened. So, it is what it is. We'll have to see how that plays out when you do the next turn.
Right, command phase. My will be done is going on myself and the Lich Guard. The Technomancer is bringing a Lich Guard back. And the Chronomancer has nothing to do.
Very well.
So let's do some movement.
Nice.
The Silent King will float menacingly sideways so that he can shoot at various things, but also charge these boys here. The chunky lads are just dropping down here so that they can see and shoot at Drago. The most murderous crab walk in town, literally sidestepping to murderize this librarian, and the buddy is just going to move up behind. And the Ophidians are going to sliver scarily forward as they are obsec and steal it from Drago and then raise the ancient machineries because it's silly. My big chonkers firing into Drago with their laser destructors. I hit you both times. I wound you both times. The Titan shield.
He loves
flares to life. The Silent King will fire his menhirs into Drago and everything from himself into the interceptors in front. Into Drago. Rerolling for myself. I hit you both times. I wound you both times. Minus 3 up in bum. That's 6 damage, so he's alive with a wound. Fine. Into the interceptors in front of me. The Staff of Stars. Rerolling for myself. Lovely. 3 to wound you. Okay. 7 wounds at -1 because of Armor of Contempt. These are damage 1.
6, 7.
I killed 2 somehow.
Yes.
Because it's -1.
Yes.
After Armor of Contempt.
Yep.
And then the Scepter of Eternal Glory hits you all the times.
Yes.
Ooh, swine. Wounds you twice at -2 because of Armor of Contempt.
Ooh.
Kills another 2 because it's damage 2, so there's 1 guy left alive. At which point, we will fire the Aeon Stave into that one
guy.
remaining dude. D3 shots, it's the 2.
It's the 2.
That's all I need.
He's ducking and bobbing.
Oh, he misses both times. The final shot.
Oh, no.
The Technomancer levels his Staff of Light into Drago.
Yes.
He hits you twice.
Yes.
He wounds you once. A free up invulnerable sable die situation.
Yep.
He's alive.
He's alive, just about.
Very well. Let's do some chop chops.
Yep.
Rapid fire charge. Scorpex into Librarian. Yes.
Yep.
A 6. And the Silent King is going to charge into that Lone Interceptor.
Yes.
Yes, apparently.
They could be both in a spot of bother.
Murder Buddy will buff up the Murder Crabs.
Yep.
Yep, he kills one.
Nice.
Fine. Whatevers. You've already maxed out no prisoners.
Yeah. Smooth now.
The Reed Blades. Okay. I do hate you with the 1s. Okay. 2s to wound you now.
Yes.
That's, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 5 up invulnerable saves. Each one is 3 damage. He's been murdered.
He's dead.
Lovely. They will then consolidate
Goodbye.
just that way. Now the king.
Yes.
The king turns to his right-hand Pharaon and says,
Sorry, man. Yeah.
the Scythe of Dust. I hit you all the times. It's 2s to wound you. He's dead because it's -5.
He be dead. My turn to activate the combat. Oh, I've chucked the dice. And the Terminators are going to go into the Lich Guard. It's not bad there. To wound you, if I can get something like that, that'd be great. That's pretty good going. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 with 1 mortal wound in addition.
Okay. 9, 4 up invulnerable saves.
Yes.
Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 2 left.
Oof.
One of them is wounded.
Yes.
But now,
to reanimate.
Reanimation. Yes. Reanimation Nation for the Necron Nation. Right.
Ooh,
I bring
okay.
back 1, 2, 3 of them. So you killed 2 in total, really.
Oosh.
The Lich Guard, a bit of a split. 3 attacks into the Dread, 2 attacks into the Terminators. I am spending a CP on Disintegration. No, Disruption Fields for +1 Strength.
Cool.
But I'm not rerolling wounds because the King is over there now.
He's a bit further away.
Into the Dread. I do hit you. Oh, that's very nice. Shame it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, looks pretty.
Falls to wound you now. Oh, okay. It's enough to do you though. That is 1 at -3 because of Armor of Contempt, and 2 at -2. So you 2 saves of 5 up and 1 save of 6 up.
2 saves, 5 up.
The dream is alive. The dream is alive. Triple 6 on your shrug, but don't.
Oh, shrug my butt.
Cheeky boy.
Cheeky, cheeky.
And now 6 attacks into the Terminators. I hit you all of the time.
Is it done?
Freeze to wound you. Okay. Only 3 wounds, but 1, 2 at 4 up save, and 1 at 5 up save.
4 ups.
Right.
1.
Well, won't kill 1. Okay, I do 2 damage to 1, but 1 is...
1 is on a wound.
Wounded. Well...
Good time.
Done a bit of the cleanup there.
Yes.
Not killing Drago is a bit of a pain, but that's fine. However, what I have done is I've maxed out my Abhor the Witch now. Yeah. I've cleared my back line for your behind enemy lines. Yeah. I've still got that central objective, which is both a treasures. I've stolen this one thanks to OBSEC nonsense, as well as raised the machinery, maxing that one out.
Yep.
I'm very, very far ahead on the point.
Yes. I mean, look, at this stage, it was just a case of what I can now score in my turn 5.
Sure.
But yeah, we'll give that a go.
And there we have it. We opted to do your final turn off camera because by that point we worked out you just couldn't score enough points to win the game. So let's go over just tactically what happened. These are the final positions on the board at the end of turn 5. We did play out Chef's turn 5 off camera as well. We actually finished on 88 points to 47 victory points.
Very well played, sir.
Dude.
Really good list, man.
Chef, do you want to just take us through what happens in the very final stages of this game?
Yeah, so in turn 5 for James, he had it's just James's luck.
Yeah.
It's just bad luck. You know, I'll move
the Purifying Ritual.
I'll move over here to Purifying Ritual.
Fail it. No, I don't fail. I perilled.
Yeah, you failed it. You re-rolled it and perilled. You then you had Drago over on this flank here where the Ophidians were, and decided, you know what, points are worth more at this stage because I'm going to get the primary anyway. So you tried to gate
myself,
and you failed that.
Just didn't happen. Yeah.
You then tried to do a smite into the Lich Guard, and I denied you with Empiric Damping.
Yep.
So yeah, you did manage to kill 2 of the Lich Guard with a smite.
Yeah.
But you just generally I was shutting you down.
I did manage, like, between the combats and then Drago, I did manage to clear quite a lot of stuff. I cleared the Lich Guard and I cleared the Ophidian. But ultimately, points-wise, I just couldn't score anymore.
Yeah, I did manage to clear the... even though I lost the Lich Guard, I did manage to take out the Dread before I went, as well as one of the wounded Terminators. But then in my turn, the Chronomancer has moved down to this objective, which the Destroyers tried to strategic scan. He has now scanned it because that was completed at the end of the battle, whichever happens first. The Scorpex advanced to hold that objective over on my other side, and the Destroyers and between the shooting of the remaining Destroyers and the Silent King and his combat, I removed the Terminators from the middle. So that gives me holding 3 on the primary, so holding 1, holding 2, holding more. The strategic scan, maxing that out. 2 points for the Ancient Machineries, 2 points for the Treasures of the Aeons in the middle, and I'd already maxed out Abhor the Witch and Ancient Machineries. Yeah. So yeah, very high scoring. The list performed exactly as you'd kind of expect it to do.
Well, let's go over that. So you did reclaim the center, and you were left ultimately with Drago holding this objective and the Interceptors holding that objective, which is why it was important you did hold the 3, just hold more, just in terms of racking up more points for the league. But let's go to the loser. Commiserations. So, Bard, what went wrong, do you think?
There was a couple of key... So in the middle, I probably should have actually moved the Interceptors into the center and charged with them, because they would have freed up various powers and stuff, which then ultimately...
Rather than having your Terminators abandoned.
Yeah, because I ended up...
having to rely on psychic powers.
I also
to
then
go
spent
off to get
CP to try and reroll psychic powers that then could be used on stuff for the Librarian over the other side of the field to keep him alive. Yeah. And maybe that would have kept me in it. I think fundamentally, though, I do like the list. It's killed a lot of stuff.
Yes.
There's very few Necrons left. It's just, I think it just couldn't score enough points. The fact that the scouring, all the objectives are in the middle and the whole of the Necrons are OBSEC, I just could be denied quite easily from my own primary, then also being able to purify rituals and do any of that stuff, which should make it tricky. I think I'm going to stick with the list for now.
Okay, so no changes then, because that was going to be my next question. You are happy with the list? You feel maybe just a bit of a mismatch?
I think,
played it a couple of different ways?
I could play that better. That wasn't the best I've played necessarily, but I think I do like the list. It was just a tough match and I couldn't really stop the just snowball of points, really.
All right, well, let's go over to the winner. Congratulations.
Yes,
So,
thank you.
okay, what went right?
Well, it's exactly what Bard says. It's the snowball of points. I managed to rack up enough points earlier. I've learned from the previous game is just to be a lot more aggressive with this list. Weirdly, the Necrons are not survivable, as you can see from the destruction that's been wrought on them. So I need to use that aggressiveness to get the points early doors. And as we saw, once that snowball starts, it's so difficult to catch up.
You score a lot early.
The OBSEC ability to just go, yep, cool. Like you had, 5 interceptors and Drago nearby. Yeah, 1 Wraith, I'm OBSEC.
Done.
Tough.
And that really started to sting later on as well. So
and usually objective secured Terminators would be no joke, but against this army, not so much.
It's very easy to turn them off,
Yeah, I'm shutting down your primary whilst also able to do my own secondaries and racking up huge amounts of points on them. Silent King does what Silent King does. He's a big target that you either ignore or have to deal with. You chose to ignore him, fine, which makes sense because you didn't have the firepower realistically. Multi-melters could have done the job, but he does have the 4-up in bun. So it is swingy. And instead you went for the stuff which is killing your stuff, which makes sense. He is not that killy.
It's interesting, like maybe if the multi-metals is powered up when I need it, I had a couple of whiffs there. I might have then been able to dedicate them later on to other stuff. But that's just the way it goes, right?
So what would you... I mean, obviously we've seen the list. I think now that after our first game, game 1, you've definitely learned to play it more aggressively, to take the board much earlier, to get all of those points. And you have made some significant changes to the list as well. Is there anything now that you would change after this particular game, or do you think you're in the sweet spot?
I don't miss the Immortals in any way, shape, or form. Scarabs for life.
I hate those Scarabs.
I know you do. The Lockhurst Heavy Destroyers I'm in a bit of an impasse with because I need them for anti-tank, anti-big things, but they just tend to do one of two things. They die or they kind of just... They don't have the realistic amount of output. I'm not really sure what to do about them.
Well, you tend to roll under average with their damage.
I mean, that also doesn't
you've not
help.
really been doing them justice.
No. I'm glad that the Scorpex got to come out on Barney today.
That's cool.
Again, I mean, realistically, what I would probably do is I would probably drop the Ophidians and the Heavy Destroyers and just run 6 more Scorpex. But we don't own 6 more Scorpex, guys. So we can't do it. Likewise, some people have said, take the 3 Heavy Destroyers, but put another one into the normal Destroyers instead of one of them, because you can do. But we only own 3. It's something that I'm kind of debating with, is maybe running the 2, dropping one of the normal Destroyers to a... or making him a Heavy Destroyer, then that would give me about 55 points to play with. But at that point, I don't really know what I'm taking with it. I think the list is pretty much there.
It's really good.
It could do with just a bit more anti-big thing, but I mean, realistically, that's the trouble with Necrons anyway. Is that?
Well, look, we shall see. There are still plenty more games coming up. 20 episodes in total, and of course we've got the first 15 games as the qualifiers for the semi-finals. You're yet to play the Tyranids. You're yet to play the Tau. You're yet to play me. I've not played the Grey Knights either. Mortal Wounds are very much scary to my force. So plenty of exciting games coming up. Who's going to come out on top in this league? It's a close run thing actually at the minute, but it's still early doors. Till next time, I've been Lawrence. He's been Chef. He's been Bard. We'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.